Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I want to tell you about a couple of experiences that I've seen on cruise ships. And to me, this is the worst behavior you can do on a cruise ship. Worse than touching my food. Worse than talking in the shows. Just worse. And it drives me crazy. So I've been on a few cruise ships recently. I've been on Princess recently, I've been on MSC recently, I've been on Royal Caribbean recently, and I have witnessed some terrible behavior from certain people. And let me tell you the situations of a few of these things that I've seen. And these have nothing to do with me. These are the way people I saw treating crew members and just kind of belittling them and talking to them like they're not even there almost, or talking to them like they're a 1-year-old. And it's just so condescending that I just feel like turning around and just yelling at these people. Because they are so rude and so inconsiderate. So one of them is I attended the high tea in MSC when I was part of the yacht club. That was a big thing that they had. And I'm sitting there and we're waiting for our tea. Now, we actually had something go wrong. We were served our tea and everything, but the butler forgot to give us teacups. So we were sitting there with all this tea and everything, nothing to drink it in. Did I get mad and upset or anything like that? No. I just walked over to him and said, hey, by the way, we still need some cups. And I went and I sat down. Things happen. They're busy. I understand. Apparently, this wasn't my butler. It was somebody else's butler. But these two women were in the yacht club. And they were sitting there maybe 15 minutes. And I saw who their butler was. And the butler, went over to them and everything, talked to them a little bit. And then he went around to a couple other tables. And then he came out with some tea and gave it to one of the other tables that had arrived like a minute or two after those ladies did. And they just went off. They walked right up to him in front of his boss, in front of everybody else, and just started berating him as if, hey, we have been here for 15 minutes now and we don't have our tea, and now you serve them even though we were here way before them. A minute, folks, literally a minute before them. What are you doing? Do you know what your job is at all? You shouldn't be a butler, and just like that kind of stuff. And just berated the guy. And it turns out the reason he had brought the tea is because that person had special dietary restrictions and they had to do certain teas particularly for them. So they had this all set aside for when that person comes in. That's why it was ready for them earlier. But these two women just went off on the poor guy. Just went absolutely nuts. And I just, I don't get it. I don't get why people have to be so rude and inconsiderate. And I guess some people who are in, the suite life and the yacht club life, right? The haven life, just think that they're better. Not everybody. Most people are just everyday people. But you know the people, the ones that think that, we're just that little bit higher up than everybody else. And that drives me absolutely nuts. I was once at a dinner with somebody, and every night they found something to complain about at dinner, in the main dining. You know, there was always something. Nothing was ever okay or right. You know, even to the point where they even complained that the knife and the fork were on the wrong sides of the plate. They're supposed to be the fork on the right and the knife on the left. It's not the other way around. Like, did that ruin your dining experience for main dining? Would that ruin your dining? Oh my God, I had to pick up the fork from the left. How am I gonna do it? I don't understand. What do I do, everybody? What do I do? How do I get that? No, but they had to make a big deal of it. Actually call over the waiter and say, look, this is not the way this is supposed to be set up. This isn't the chef's table. This isn't a specialty restaurant. This isn't, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. This is a main dining on a cruise ship. And they were complaining about that. I've also, it would drive the person nuts, the same person, because their salad would come and the waiter would bring the dressing in like a serving cup or a gravy bowl or something along those lines, and place it beside the salad. And he would go, oh, wait. I gotta ask you something. I just gotta ask you something, he said, as if he's explaining something to a child. Is it really that hard? I'm just asking, because I wanna know. Is it really that hard for you to take the dressing and actually pour it on the salad? Is it that hard for you not to do that? And I'm looking at the person thinking, is it not that hard for you to do it? Are your damn hands broken? Do you have no arms? What's the matter with you? But they sit there and they talk to the waiter in that condescending voice like that in front of everybody at our table. We are at a table of 10. And they talk to him like that. Needless to say, I was not impressed. I was embarrassed for the waiter. And I didn't want to eat with this person the rest of the cruise. I ate 2 nights with that person. They complained about the knife and fork setting, and then they complained about the salad dressing, and then they might have complained because, hey, where's Don now? Don's not eating with us anymore. And in fact, I did notice the next time I went, the rest of the cruise, that table of 10 turned out to be a table of 3, because nobody else wanted to sit there and eat with this person, because everything that was wrong. So if you ever want to get on my bad side on a cruise, berate the crew members. Treat them like they're not human beings. Berate them for no apparent reason in the world, right? It drives me up the wall, and I think if I see it again, I'm just gonna freak out on somebody. I really am, because these people are just doing their job. They have a job where it's like service industry, long hours, and just making our vacation better. And somebody has to call somebody over because you got the fork and the knife on the wrong side of the plate. Wow. Have you ever come across people like that? Because unfortunately I have, and I'm seeing it more and more lately. And I just miss the good old days when people just respected everybody and just enjoyed the cruise ships. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.